Welcome to Your Anime Senpais. I'm Richard.
And I'm John.
And John, today we are starting a brand new series called Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. But wait.
Are we?
Yeah, it's episode 4. What's going on, John? What is this?
This is 2023.
It is 2023, yes.
So, if you'll remember, everybody, we started in 2020 with this series. Actually, when it was coming out week to week.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
So, it's been a little bit.
It has been.
Sorry about that. And just to kind of refresh everybody, back in the day, we had my friend Wayne joining in. We would kind of edit him in with his own separate reaction. And that took a lot of extra time. That's no excuse for not continuing. But life happened. Things happened. Channel was up and down during 2020. Masks were a thing. Keeping distance. All kinds of fun stuff. So we lost track of this series and others. There's a lot of unfinished stuff. A lot of that unfinished stuff I would love to go back and finish. Which might happen one of these days, hopefully. So we'll see. But anyway, we are on episode 4 of Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. If you'll remember the last couple episodes building up to this, we have had our 3 main characters working on this film group. And at this point, they're going to be trying to make a film. And they need to get this done quickly. So in this episode, I'm hoping we get all this accomplished. They get back on track. They make this film of the girl with a machete versus a tank is what it's going to be, and they can accomplish this. And my favorite character, I can't remember her name right at the moment, the tall girl, she's going to keep them on track. And this intro is something else. So hopefully you'll enjoy this reaction, and we'll get right into it. So they're working on their explosion.
Wow. Oh, okay. I thought...
They're watching a live clip to...
Right. I don't think you really have to worry about that right now, though, right?
See, now it looks like they're nitpicking all the finer details.
Yeah. It's like...
Because, the ones, explosions are hard. The one's overthinking why water would be in a place. How smoke is moving. And they could go out and light a fire, maybe.
But I mean, they don't really need it to be that realistic, though.
Pretty sudden. Yeah. I mean, depending on what they're wanting to do, it's just not even a second. As far as the initial movement.
Okay.
Can't wait to see this finished product. Me too.
Yeah.
Do you realize whose job that is? A month.
Plus you have to do your schoolwork.
And that's all they finish is that couple seconds. Is she still on number 4?
But there's only 3 of you. Technically 2 of you.
This is why I like her. We need to get back on track, guys. Here, do all these.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
24 hours a day for the next month. We'll shorten it to 48 hours in a day over the course of 15 days. We just need to work 48-hour days, guys. A pure background. Yes, cut every corner.
I mean, there's only just a couple of them. So it's
And it's not really the one is actually helping.
Right. Right. I mean, people do notice that a lot.
Pen. Pen. Over and over. Too close. Yeah, that's a little too close.
It'd be okay.
Little pixely. Then have the skirt, be like the same, 3 frames?
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Add an extra frame or 2.
See, like, the stuff that they're talking about, like the, adding more effects and things like that, I mean, you're talking about, like, full teams of animation studios trying to do the things that they're talking about, but there's only 3 of you. Can't really raise your expectations that high. I mean, I know it's really hard to do, to keep yourself from doing that, because you want to make those leaps.
Is there any need for color? Yeah, we're really, with a month time, they're really getting to the nitty gritty of like, what do we need? How many static shots can we use? Yeah.
This is just a presentation too. This isn't like your actual.
Yeah. Well, I think she was really wanting to tell a quick, short story that actually might have had a point to it. Where I think they're just like, it's a girl fighting a tank. What story do we need?
True.
There's also this.
True.
Yeah, that would help. Have them computer generate the in-betweens. That would save them so much time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, that was...
Got their hands full. Doing
Right,
their own
yeah.
project.
Right.
Yeah. She's like, I'm glad you see it my way.
Right. It's good to compromise.
Yes. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. To a degree, that clip they just generated is probably animated a little bit better than the series is. Which is kind of funny that they're doing that. But
Right. What was that?
I think they were off imagining, like, it lost in their own little imaginary world again.
Yeah.
And then she's like, guys.
We still have to do this. And the funny thing is, they're doing this, but also they got to do their own schoolwork and things like that too, on top of all this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What time is it? That's right. Pros sleep at their desks.
That's pretty harsh for...
Wow. Might even get shut down.
Fair.
Would the school faculty like to discuss them? No. Do you have that kind of authority? Wow. Just because you... Powder bombs. Break us up. What are up with all these like slang phrases or whatever? Bunch of hokum, you nimrods. The proof's in the pudding. What? Exactly.
Thank you for translating
yes.
that.
Must have been like some country slang or something.
I guess so.
Aha.
Let's see how this works.
I mean, it's pretty quick to... Oh, then they showed it in color. Ooh, the same thing. Okay, that was kind of impressive. Good way to do it. Yeah, yeah. You can see all the ways they've kind of cut corners. Okay,
Right.
now that I'm kind of trying to pay attention to it. And they got her one scene of her realistic role that she spent a month working on.
And then
There's her.
twirling, right?
Mm-hmm.
But aren't they supposed to close?
Keep panning closer and closer.
Right.
I like how we keep getting these cuts back and forth where like the audience is so immersed. They're like, wait a second, what?
Is this happening for real?
Are we in this? I mean, if they can draw them in that good, then that's pretty impressive.
Right, yeah. For just the three of them?
Mm-hmm.
Or technically two of them?
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, this actually makes me think of Attack on Titan.
You know, yeah. In 2020, Attack on Titan was pretty.
I'm not saying
popular, but
I'm not saying that they were copying on it. It's just the whole feel of it makes me think Attack on Titan.
Like the aerial kind of combat style.
Well, using this,
And
that plus the swords.
Her maneuver gear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Everyone stopped fighting.
Right.
That wasn't in 3D. This wasn't a 4D theater, was it? They're not even worried about the crowd. They're like sitting there like, yeah, what could we have done to improve that?
They might even get more members if with all this, which would be helpful.
Yeah, that definitely could be something that would be pretty helpful. Yeah.
That's the big question. They're not even paying attention whether they got the budget or not. They're just like, yeah, let's go ahead and keep doing this.
Like, okay, we did that. Now let's add a story. Yeah.
That'd be funny if it was actually rejected.
Yeah, rejected.
You know what? They're not paying attention to us. Reject it.
Exactly. All right. Episode 4. We're back. We're back into it.
Yep.
What did you think? What do you think overall?
I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. Kind of nice to get back into it because I've forgotten so much over this last couple of years. It's nice to have that nice breath, fresh air of all, especially compared to everything else what we've been doing since that time. So as far as this episode goes, though, yeah, it was good. I think my only complaint would be that I guess maybe they kind of rushed through that month that they were going to.
Yeah, they could have definitely
maybe fleshed it out a little bit more. But I mean, it's whatever, because I'm sure we'll probably see more of that as the series goes on, anyways. So,
yeah.
But it was just kind of nice, them putting it all together and seeing the final product, and again with just a couple of them like doing what they did. And yeah, there were some things that they were like, I don't really want to do it that way, but of course they had to do it that way because you've only got so much time. And it kind of makes you appreciate too, like, say for example, if there's an anime that you're really looking forward to, like, oh man, it's coming out, fall of 2023, but then it gets pushed back and you get upset. But then it's like, there's obviously reasons why it had to be done this way. I mean, look at Isekai Oji-san, for example. I mean, that kept getting pushed back more and more and more for every episode, So, but there was good reasons for it too. So, sometimes you got to be patient with that sort of thing. So,
yeah,
it is what it is. So, how did you feel about this episode? Complete downer, right?
I honestly, I will say, I really enjoyed this episode. Probably 2 thumbs up, just because of the film, the feel of it.
Yeah.
Reflecting on the series, kind of looking back on what my thoughts were previously on the series, and kind of rewatching it up to this point. I was not the biggest fan of this series. And I do remember thinking back on that, where I was kind of like, I liked it, it was okay, but maybe I just wasn't engrossed enough into the whole filmmaking aspect of it to really take as much away from it or enjoy it. So I really feel like this episode was where it kind of pulled me in more. Now, like I said before, Kanamori, my favorite character. I resonate with her and how I'm like, all right, guys, we got to get back on task.
Yeah.
We got a month, and you've only worked on scene 4 for like an additional month.
Right.
So like her attitude and everything else, I've always enjoyed. That was always the highlight for me in this series. Them getting lost in their imaginary worlds, that was fun. But I always liked her, like, all right, let's bring it down back to like, being realistic.
She's like the anchor. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. And honestly, this is kind of the episode, the turning point, I feel like, where I was like, yeah, I like this episode or this series now. I'm kind of getting more out of it, I think, now that I'm kind of seeing where it's going, what they're doing. And maybe that's what it was. Maybe the first couple episodes, I was like, they're just kind of goofing around. And
I mean, they are high schoolers,
but,
or middle schoolers.
Yeah, and I think they are high. They're in
they're
school.
Kids. They're still kids.
They're in school.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I actually think it might say, I don't know.
Whatever.
But yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to more. So
now, when you say that it pulled you in, did it pull you in like if they pulled in that audience? Like, did you look at your feet and you were like, wow, everything's in color?
Where'd that shell come from? The tank? Honestly, that was pretty impressive. I like how they did that to show how engrossed everyone was into the film, because it was right off. And at first I was kind of like, wait a second, what is going on?
Right.
And then I was like, oh, we're kind of doing this a visual approach to showing just how into this everyone is.
And all the papers are flying everywhere. And it's like,
yeah.
I mean, I will say that was kind of cool, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, even if you take somebody like Miyazaki, I'm sure if you went to I don't know if he did an animation during his high school or anything like that, but let's pretend that he did. I don't even think he would be able to do something like that. It's almost like you're taking these girls to a whole new level, like making them higher than some of the top. And
to be fair, they did a lot of CG stuff. Like, remember, they only did like one frame, and they were like, okay, now let's jump like 3 seconds in and have this computer program do the in-betweens.
Right, yeah.
So really, they did save themselves a lot of work by just doing the key frames and having the the AI, the algorithm, whatever, kind of generate the in-between stuff, which honestly, like when Miyazaki was younger,
he probably
didn't have that.
Yeah, it's true.
You would have had to have done all the in-betweens by hand, or made it a static shot, doing like the old Hanna-Barbera stuff where like their body was static and only their head moved,
Mm-hmm.
and you see them laugh and it's only like their head, and maybe their whole body like jumps up and down or something.
Or you could do like South Park and just do it that way.
Yeah, and just animate it by paper and things like that. But even nowadays they do an episode, at least they from thought process to final products a week. Mm-hmm. So they got their and they have a big team,
and a big budget too.
And even that's went to like CG for a lot of it, where it looks the same, but it's all computer generated, I think, for the most part now. Right. So,
and you got to think too, like with the AI being as advanced as it is now, like with what was it, CP or Chat GP or whatever?
Oh yeah, Chat GPT
and stuff like that. I mean, I guess if these girls had access to that stuff like that, I mean, it probably would save them even more time. But they would probably also be upset because, I want to do this the original way or the old-fashioned way, blah, 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 whatever. Mm-hmm. So, but, I mean, I don't know. It does seem a little, even with all that, still, to me, it does seem a little bit unbelievable. But it is what it is. I mean, it's just a show anyways. I mean, I can't really fault it for too much. So,
yeah,
it's fine.
But I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to more. I'm glad they got the approval.
Yeah. So they seem to be the only ones so far.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
they showed. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it really doesn't matter for everybody else, but it was interesting.
So I think that's about all I really want to cover with this.
All right. In that case, guys, what do you think of this episode? And do you think that a young girl with a machete could really take on a tank? Let us know down in the comments below.
Yeah, of course. And if you enjoyed this reaction and like that we're back reacting to it, definitely hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you're notified whenever more episodes of this series and Fate and whatever else series we kind of get going out there, or whenever they pop out, so that you're notified when that does happen. Also, check out our Patreon if you want to see all these episode reactions full and uncut. It's over there. We would really appreciate that support. And with that being said, we'll see you in episode 5.